Hello and welcome to Angel's Corner. Today I wanted to talk about how we're not meant to understand why people do the things that they do and how they act out of their heart. Because our actions and everything that we say and everything that we do, it flows from what's inside our heart. It flows from the content of our heart. The fruit that we bear, it comes from here, right? And if we're told that the human heart is deceitful and that we'll never fully understand ourselves and our flesh, that we are not meant to sit and meditate on why this person did us the way that they did, why they would act like that, what do we do to deserve this? No, we're meant to forgive because love covers all offenses. We're meant to forgive and we are meant to move on with our lives instead of sitting and meditating on why we're treated the way that we did when we can't even understand our own human heart. So, why would you sit there and try to understand why somebody is treating you in a way and doing you in a way when we can't even understand ourselves? We can't even understand why we fall short. We can't even understand why we give into temptation and give into flesh. Book of Proverbs, we're told to trust in the Lord and not depend on our own understanding. We can't depend on our own understanding on why people do the things that they do. And we're not meant to understand. There are certain things that we are not meant to understand. We do not have the same heart as other people. So if you're going to sit there and try to understand why somebody did you in such a way, it's never going to work. You're never going to be in their position. You're never going to have that understanding that you would like. You may have the wisdom to understand that they were overcome by the enemy, they were overcome by their flesh, and that's why they did you the way that they did. But you will never have the understanding fully because you will never be in their shoes and the content of your heart is different from somebody else's. I used to be somebody who would sit and just try to meditate and try to really understand why somebody did something that they did until I realized that it is a blessing that I'm not able to understand why you did what you did. The soft heart that you have, the pure heart that you have, the heart that is seeking God, that is a blessing. It is a blessing to not be able to understand why people do the things that they do at times. And sometimes, yes, it is frustrating because you just want to have that wisdom and you just want to understand why you were treated the way that you did and why that happened. But just have enough faith and wisdom to know that it's all going to work in your favor. If we look in the book of Genesis and we look at how Joseph was treated by his brothers, Joseph was sold into slavery. He was wrongly imprisoned by his family. His family sold him into slavery. His brothers plotted against him to kill him. And he still showed them mercy. He still showed them kindness. They ended on that note. He told them that I'm not God. I cannot punish you. And he spoke to them in a way that showed them that he didn't have any malice towards them. Joseph didn't spend his time trying to understand why his brothers did him that way, try to understand why this was all happening to him. He put his faith into the Lord and he knew that it was something that was happening for a bigger purpose. Use that energy that you have that wants to understand why somebody did you in such a way and wants to understand how that can happen and turn it into faith that God is going to use that for your benefit. God is going to use every single thing for your benefit. You may not understand why somebody treated you the way that you did, and that is okay. You don't have to. We're not meant to. Just have enough faith and reverence for God to understand that it's all going to work in your benefit. Don't waste that time trying to understand why somebody did you like that, why somebody would say that to you, why somebody would do that. No, we don't even understand ourselves. And the flesh takes over sometimes, and the flesh is something that we will never understand. So don't put your energy in trying to comprehend human flesh, trying to understand human heart, when you could just place enough faith into God, into knowing that, okay, this person did do something to me. This person did not treat me the way that they're meant to, but I trust you enough to know that it's for a greater purpose. I trust you enough to know that it'll all be worth it in the end and not to waste my energy on trying to understand why they would do such a thing. God has given us enough faith in Him, and God has blessed us with enough stories and enough experiences to know that everything works out in our benefit.